Pompeani, Andrew Filliponi. We have a lot of vowels to keep Vanna White busy here tonight if she were here. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. You can also tweet us at KD Show. Ron Matthews on Twitter says, who do you guys like in the NHL playoffs, Tampa Bay or the field? Ron, I've learned never to take the field just because it's too much. Tampa,
you always take the field here. You can't take Tampa.
I mean, Tampa I meant. I don't take Tampa or like Duke or like any of those teams or even somebody who's going to be trending for the Masters.
How about the Warriors?
I'll take the field. That's the only exception I would make. Although this year I would have a different opinion about that. So I think the Warriors are going to be challenged not from too many teams in the West, more from the East. I think whoever represents the East, I think it'll be Milwaukee.
A President's
Bucks.
Trophy winner hasn't won the Stanley Cup Final since the Blackhawks, and that was in a 48-game season. So you have to go even farther back. Actually, the last team to do it in a full year was the Red Wings team that beat the Penguins back in 08. So it's hard to do, to go pillar to post.
They had 128 points, I believe. They put up unbelievable numbers. They've been there, done that, and this is a team that is back again for the third year. Now their expectations are higher, but I think they also feel better about their chances. So we'll see. Let's go out to line 4. We'll begin tonight with Bill in Mount Lebanon. Hello, Bill. How you doing?
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Hey, Bob. 2 questions. Number 1 is, what was the series between the Islanders and the Penguins in the regular season?
Islanders won 2 out of 4. It was 2-1-1. The one was
okay.
So however you want to look at that, overtime ties are a real problem for me. I'm going to bring that up with Andrew in a second, but it was 2-1-1.
And the last game was in December.
Right. It was all the way. It was a shootout, if I recall.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'll say the Penguins win it in 6.
Yeah, I'm not making predictions because it's
Why not?
Because it's such stupid. I appreciate yours, however, Bill. I mean, we do this all the time.
I'm with Bill. I'm going to take the Penguins in 6 games. I'll put my name on it.
You put your name on a lot of predictions.
I do, and they.
That's why I'm not doing it. Honestly, it doesn't take much to change the outcome of a series. I think the Penguins are the better team. I think the Penguins should win. I think the Penguins will win, if you're asking me. But I don't know how many games. I think it's going to be tougher than people think. I do. I think this team is a good, disciplined team, which will challenge the Penguins, as I said, with a patience. And if they can have success on the penalty kill, I watched the Rangers last night, Andrew. They were very aggressive with the Penguins. Pittsburgh goes 0 for 4 on the power play. If that kind of trend leaks into this series, it could be a problematic situation.
Well, but they won't need to rely on power play goals to win this series. 5-on-5 play, they should score more goals than New York.
New York's one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the league this year.
The Islanders?
The Islanders.
Well, but I'm saying they're not going to. They can't go goal for goal with the Penguins. The Penguins don't have to count on Phil Kessel or Sidney Crosby to get all their goals with an extra man. If they stay out of the penalty box, I think they'll win the series. And they can't give up shorthanded goals either, which has been
shorthanded,
unbelievable.
Again, that's the discipline part I'm talking about. You can get frustrated and make stupid plays, and that happens. Bob Sassy on Twitter says, all right, Bob, he says, get your thoughts on Antonio Brown calling out Juju today. AB quit on teammates, coaches, and fans. It's ridiculous. Bob, I agree. As I tweeted, it's time for him to grow up and move on and stop. He just has this narcissistic need to be on Instagram and be a star, even if it means, again, compromising relationships, compromising your team, your head coach. It doesn't matter who you compromise. So, Andrew, I don't know what else to say other than it's time to move on.
I think it's clear that he felt like he was the reason why the Steelers were good. And that any kind of credit that has been given to Juju in the form of the MVP award or the contract that Ben, like when Ben gets a big contract in the next couple of weeks, Bob, don't you think we're going to get a Twitter tirade from Antonio Brown when that happens? Because I would bet on that. That's a prediction I'll make that I think will come true.
I agree. I will make that prediction also. What I also would love to see, and I'm not going to predict it, but I'd like to see Juju Smith-Schuster
take the high road,
have 120 catches, get a new contract that makes him the highest paid receiver.
I'll co-sign on that.
I'd love to see that. All right, let's go out to line 3. Ron in Duquesne. Hey, Ron, how are you?
Hi, Ron.
Hey, guys. I got a question for both of you guys. Okay, do you think Antonio Brown is bitter because he somewhat got the short end of the stick?
How did he get the short end of the stick?
Because Derek Carr will never be the quarterback that Ben Roethlisberger is. And
he made the choice.
Wide open and
how did he get the short end of the stick when he made the choice?
Throws it in the dirt, throws it behind him. You think he threw that thing on the sideline with the Steelers? Where did you see the tantrums he threw up there in Oakland?
Well, I would agree with that, but I don't know what your point is about he got the short end. He created this. He had opportunities to do this totally differently. Andrew, this was his mess.
Yeah.
He has to own it now.
And I think he's conceited enough to think that you put him with any quarterback and he's going to make the guy a Hall of Famer.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
We'll see. There are a lot of them out there who aren't as good. Chuck in Uniontown joins us right now.
Hey, Chuck.
Chuck, been a long time.
Thank you. Once again, it's always good to talk to you fellas.
Well, I know you called because Andrew's on, and I know you like talking to Andrew, so.
But both of you are great. So what I was going to ask you, do you think the Pirates can sustain, what they get off to a better start like this? But I do think there's a few things here. Number one, they're going to have to start doing this against the better teams. All 5 of their wins have been against Cincinnati, which is okay, but they'll have to do it against the better teams. They'll also have to do it, I think, on the road, and they're going to have to do it against the meat of the schedule, which means, for example, they're going to have to stop losing complete series in Dodger Stadium and places like that. Milwaukee.
Yeah, they weren't good about the West last year, but.
Yeah, but I mean, they could do better than we think in the division, but I think they're going to have to sustain it. They're going to have to round the ball up better on defense.
We do.
And one Penguin thing.
Real quick.
Do you think the Islanders' discipline comes from the fact Lou Lamoriello in his days with the Devils?
And the coach.
Yeah.
They gave up the most goals in the NHL last year, and this year they were the stingiest team in the NHL. And what really changed there, Bob? I know they signed Robin Lehner, but I don't think he's Patrick Waugh. I think it's the system that they've put in there.
Right. And it's Barry Trotz, who, by the way, everyone thinks it was just Washington. He was in Nashville before, and he had a long run there. This is a guy who's an experienced coach. He knows how to coach, and he took what he had. He knew he didn't have Tavares. He went there regardless. I think Washington may regret letting him go, by the way.
Trotz? So do I. I think they'll lose in the first round.
Enough.
I think Carolina's going to beat him.
You do?
I do.
Wow.
Carolina's young.
Andrew's signing on a lot. Let me put that one down too. Carolina over Washington.
If you go by if you believe hot teams, are you into hot goaltenders, hot teams?
Yes.
If you start, say, the odometer in the middle of March, Peter Mrazek's numbers are as good as any guy in the playoffs. His goals against average is below 2. He's won 10 out of his last 12 starts. He's going to start game 1. They're young, so they have a devil don't care attitude. We see it with the celebrations. But they've got experience, too, with guys like Stahl and Williams. So
yeah. And to your point, Binnington in St. Louis has catapulted them, and they have a young goaltender who they're riding, turn their season around, quite frankly. And if, I'm going to defer, it's hard for me to say that he should be the Calder rookie because he came up halfway through the season.
And the guy in Vancouver, Peterson, had such a good year.
Elias is very good, and he deserves it. But this kid should not be underestimated. He has allowed St. Louis to reemerge as a playoff team.
Well, he might be Matt Murray.
He might be
Matt Murray for them.
Real quick, Chuck's other point was about the Pirates. My quick answer to that was when you have pitching you can contend or at least be in a lot of games, then it's about what happens next.
And when the season started, I think the Pirates and Reds were on equal footing in the minds of a lot of people. So to take 5 out of 6 for them, to me, is a good start.
And that's all they have on their schedule, Chuck. So you won 5 out of how many? 6 from them, whatever it is. 7. That's pretty good stuff. 5 out of 6, yeah. Because Reds have lost 8 in a row. It's hard to believe. We got to take a break. We have Waylon coming up along with Pete and Al. We'll get to those calls when we continue. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call right here on Pittsburgh CW.